Hey everybody! Today we are going to be working on lesson 128 and we're going to focus on core problems 131, 132, and 133. So this will definitely be a faster one than yesterday. We are still focusing on probability, but today we're going to focus on applying strategies for calculating and comparing probabilities. So we're going to jump down to problem 131. So go ahead and make sure you have your document out, whether you're split screening on your iPad with this video or you've printed the document and you are writing it out because you're going to be turning this in completed once you are finished. So for problem 131, it says Lindsay has a paper bag full of fruity Tooty Chews in 3 different fruit flavors. She says if you reach into the bag, you have 1/3 of a chance of pulling out killer kiwi, and there is 3/5 of a chance that you will get crazy coconut. So the first question is asking, if you reach into the bag, what is the probability of coconut or kiwi? If you remember yesterday, when we see or, that means we are going to combine those two together. Okay, so we're going to take the probability of killer kiwi, which is 1/3, and we're going to add it to the probability of crazy coconut, since I can get one or the other. So a good common denominator for that, for 3 and 5, is going to be 15. So 1/3 is going to turn into 5/15, and 3/5 is going to turn into 9/15. So when I add those together, I'm going to get 14/15. So the probability of getting kiwi or coconut is going to be 14/15. So I have a pretty good chance of getting one or the other. Does there have to be another flavor in the bag? How can you tell? So a couple things we can tell. First, it tells us right in the beginning there's 3 different fruit flavors. But we also can tell by my answer of 14/15, that's not all of the bag. There's got to be, since it's kiwi or coconut, 14 out of 15 times I'm going to pull one or the other, but 1 out of 15 times I'm going to pull a different flavor. So the probabilities have to add up to 1 whole. Oops, sorry. So I need, so we're going to say on here, yes, there is another flavor because the probabilities need to add to 1 whole. Okay, awesome. So I know for sure that the probability of whatever that 3rd flavor is only going to be 1/15. Okay, how many candies might Lindsay have in the bag? And is there more than one possibility? So it says assume all the candies in the bag are whole pieces of candy. So if we know, okay, I know that, remember, my denominator in a probability is the total number of outcomes. So there has to be 15 pieces, or remember, I can always simplify. So that could also be 28 out of 30. So as long as it's equivalent to 14 or out of 15, so if it's a common denominator with 15, it will work. So 15 pieces or a multiple of 15, because it can always be simplified to be out of 15. So it could be 15 pieces or 30 pieces or 45 pieces. Anything that works well with 15 as a multiple of 15 could possibly be in the bag. For 132, Lyle asked for a challenge problem and his teacher gave him this one. There is 2/7 of a chance of drawing a red marble out of a bag of marbles. If the probability of drawing a red or a blue marble is 2/3, what's the probability of drawing a blue marble? You may want to use, you can go to that site if you want to simulate the problem, okay? So when Lyle's teammates saw the challenge he was working on, they had a different idea for how he should start. So don't solve it yet. Mayra suggested that he just starts by rewriting 2/3 and 2/7 so they have a common denominator. So that was like her first step. Kanessa disagreed. You want to set up a subtraction problem. So she's thinking we should do 2/3 minus 2/7 to figure out what Lyle needs to know. Darren had a different idea. The probability that you would draw either red or blue is the same as the probability of drawing the red added to the probability of drawing blue. So he wrote this expression, 2/7 plus something equals 2/3. So which way would you suggest Lyle start working to find the probability of blue? So honestly, all 3 of those, they would work. You could start by doing common denominators. You could subtract 2/3 minus 2/7. And actually, if you do Darren's idea, when you're trying to find the missing value of an addition problem, you have to do 2/3 minus 2/7 to get that answer anyways. So all three of those options would work. Okay, so it says, go ahead and just tell me which one I know it says your team, but which one you would recommend, and just tell me why. Okay, to me, I immediately went to the second option, but that's just the way my brain works. And I know we all attack problems in different ways. So then it says, when you go down here, include your ideas about whether the other strategies will solve the problem and why you did not choose them. Okay, so we can all say all three of those work. Go ahead and take some time on here. I'm not going to fill out my answer because I want you guys to give me your own answer, but go ahead and take some time, pause this video, and tell me why you didn't choose the other two. They're still right, but just tell me why the other two were options that you initially chose to solve them. And then let's actually do it. What is the probability of drawing a blue marble? So go ahead and use the method that you chose up here, option 1, 2, or 3. I'm going to go with option 2 because that's the way that my brain kind of went first. So I'm going to be doing 2/3 minus 2/7. Okay, so my common denominator is going to be 21. And the reason I'm subtracting in this case and not adding is because 2/3 is the whole thing, and I'm taking away the fraction that I already know, the probability that I already know, to figure out the probability that I'm missing. So we're going to go ahead, and this is going to turn into 14 out of 21. This one's going to turn into 6 out of 21. So when I subtract those, I'm going to get 8 out of 21. So the probability of choosing a blue marble is going to be 8/21, and I cannot simplify that. All right, last problem right here, 133. Louise is playing a game, but the spinner is incomplete. Each section of the spinner is labeled with the probability of spinning it. So what fraction is missing? So that's exactly like saying 1/3 plus 1/6 plus 2/5 plus something has to give me 1 whole. So let's go ahead and find a common denominator for these, okay? So 3, 6, and 5, I'm thinking 30 would be a good common denominator for that. So if I make this out of 30, okay, this becomes 10/30, this becomes 5/30, and this is going to become 12/30. So let's go ahead and add all of those up. So 10 plus 5 gives me 15. 15 plus 12, so let's see, 15 plus 10 is going to give me 25, 26, 27/30 is already accounted for. So 30/30 minus 27/30 is going to give me a leftover of 3/30, or in other words, 1/10. So this little section right here is going to be worth 1/10. Now if I add all those up together, they'll give me 1 whole. So I know I've got all the probabilities and the whole spinner covered. All right, awesome job, guys. Make sure this is completed. Go ahead and submit it to your assignment, and you are good to go. Great job today.